Hey guys, so today I wanted to do a quick video on depersonalization, derealization. I've gotten a recent influx in messages and questions regarding depersonalization, and I wanted to address one of them that I received. I also want to say sorry to anyone that's been subscribed to this channel for that particular issue. Now, it's been a while since I've talked about this, and I think one of the biggest reasons is that I don't really struggle with depersonalization that much anymore. It was a huge side effect. It was a huge part of my life when I had my mental breakdown in 2011. I'd say for about 2 years, I was severely depersonalized. Now, don't let that number fool you or scare you. Some people will deal with it in short spurts, others long term. There's hope for everyone. So just take that with a grain of salt. But a question I've gotten often enough to address is, how do you know if you are depersonalized? Like, what are the tall tale signs? How can you differentiate depersonalization, derealization from something like brain fog or feeling blah or something like that? And it's a really good question. And I think one of the biggest things you have to remember about depersonalization is that one of the main features of it is a dreamlike state. And when you say a dreamlike state, I think the primary thing to be aware of there is that it's a complete disconnection from your world, the surrounding world, the physical, the touchable world around you. You feel disconnected from it, like it's an alternate reality almost. It's a little bit different than brain fog, and I think some people think it's kind of hard to describe, by the way. So I feel like unless you have depersonalization, I'm not sure that would make much sense, the dreamlike state, but it's being like unfamiliar and numb to your surroundings and to your environment, feeling completely a part of it, as opposed to what I would consider to be brain fog, which is just feeling very out of it, blah. Things that are very brain fog driven are lack of sleep, or over caffeinated, or when someone takes in way too much sugar, or when someone eats a food that they're sensitive to a high degree, or if someone is acutely anxious and stressed out and they just have this like hot pressury feeling in their head. These things, or another great example would be when you overexert yourself, whether it be in exercise or whatever, you can get this brain fog, blah, disconnected feeling, but I wouldn't call that depersonalization. So this woman wrote me and said she can't figure out whether or not she's depersonalized, and she doesn't know what to do. And I would say one of the best things you can do is start eliminating some of the things that can be very commonly associated with just feeling out of it, fatigued, full of brain fog and blah-like feelings. So an easy thing you can do is try to address some sleep issues. I think one of the biggest culprits for making people think they have depersonalization is just people that are chronically sleep deprived. So do your homework. There's an incredible amount of resource available to you online on how to get better sleep. Take that really serious for a week or two. See if getting your sleep schedule under control can make a big difference. Also, check out how many stimulants you are taking. Again, one of the biggest things that I think mirrors and masks falsely depersonalization is an over intake of stimulants, whether that be energy drinks, sugar, coffee, anything like that, especially coupled with poor sleep. It will start to make you think that you might have depersonalization if you happen to wander towards that potential diagnosis, that possibility of that being something you suffer from. Those two things I feel like are the two main things that you can absolutely address right away. But in general, take a look at lifestyle. I guess one more that I would add, which seems like a no-brainer, but I suppose I could mention it, is if you're partying too much. Maybe you're getting a little too into your bottle of wine at night, you're drinking too much on the weekends, you're taking a little extra of your take as needed benzodiazepine. I'm not judging you, or if you're smoking a little too much weed, no judgment. But all these things, lifestyle-based things, dietary things, sleep-based things, self-care based things, when you're out of whack, when you're not taking care of yourself, in terms of living your life and behaving in such a way that would give you the best chance for mental health and good physical health, good mental health rather, these are things that can then prop up these symptoms, these feelings, like being disconnected from your environment, like feeling like you're possibly depersonalized. And there are things to consider and look at, and only then, I think, can you have a clear picture of whether or not you really do suffer from depersonalization. So for me, when I had my big breakdown and I started to feel acutely disconnected from my environment, I didn't know what was going on, but I felt like I was in a deep, syrupy dream. And I remember I would look at my hand and I would genuinely feel like I see a hand. I understand mentally and cognitively that it is attached to my body, but I don't like recognize it as being part of me. That might sound completely hokey, but that was depersonalization for me. Depersonalization for me was literally feeling like I was a passenger in my own body, as if I were watching a movie through my own eyes. It felt psychotic. It didn't feel like any type of hangover from over drinking. It didn't feel like any type of I've been up on caffeine too long and I need sleep. It didn't feel like sleep deprivation. It didn't feel like binge eating on Thanksgiving Day and then waking up from a nap. It felt unreal. It was very, very obvious that it was something I'd never felt before. And a movie that really helped me identify this was called Numb, N-U-M-B, starring Matthew Perry, a little-known movie about depersonalization, maybe one of a kind. I really don't know how many movies have ever addressed this little-known niche aspect of mental health, but I watched that movie and it helped me understand that I definitely was suffering from depersonalization. But on the contrary, you might watch that movie and it might help you understand that you are not suffering from that, and perhaps that would be a great relief to you. Never underestimate the amount of influence and power you have over your mind and how it works, assuming you are taking the appropriate steps to balance out anything that might be out of balance. But if you are suffering from depersonalization, because I'm certainly not trying to convince you that you're not, I hope you know that with concerted effort, with time, with therapy, with getting your hormones in line, with getting your diet in line, with getting a bunch of different potential things to have a more holistic and all-encompassing approach towards mental health and physical health, it can get better. I know that's extremely vague in general, but I don't have time to dive into specifics that might work for you. Just know that I've chipped away at it to the point where I don't notice it and recognize it anymore, and it was a very extreme part of my life for a better part of 2 years. I thought it would never go away, and it did. So I wanted to leave you with that just to give you some hope that if you are suffering from it, it can get better. And if you're not, you can control a lot of the things that can make it get better. Remember, I'll leave you with this last little tidbit. Anxiety and depersonalization are comorbid, and that means they are very closely interrelated. Sometimes it's by itself, but usually keep your anxiety in check. You're going to give yourself a good chance at healing from depersonalization and many other side effects and symptoms that would be associated with anxiety as well. It just takes time. So just be brave, hang in there 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute at a time. I hope this video was of some use to you. I really apologize for not making more videos on this topic. I know it's an important topic. I know it's certainly one of the lesser understood and very scary mood disorders that you can come in contact with. You have my support. You have my love. Reach out to me in the comments below. Let me know your experiences. Let me know any feedback or anything that you might be able to add to this video to bolster it and make it better for other people. I'd sure be grateful for that. I appreciate you. And we'll see you guys in the next video. My name is Noah, and I thank you for your time. Peace.